Terry, do
Hi,
you know what day it is?
Hump Day.
Nope, you're wrong.
Oh,
It's a great day for two old guys to sit back and talk some crap about horse racing.
oh, that's true. Yeah, we had a pretty good day yesterday. That's for sure.
Oh, yes, indeed. And we found out that we're just two old guys sitting around talking some derogatory Spanish word for horse racing. So, hey, I'm glad. I'm glad that I can play that part, Terry. What about you?
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me
Yes.
too.
Instead of my
Y-
life being so miserable that I got to complain about two guys having fun talking about racing on the internet.
Yep,
Do you agree or disagree with that?
I agree.
Yes, indeed, I agree as well, and I also agree. We had a good day yesterday. We
We
hit
do.
the. We should. I know Finger Lakes is your absolute favorite track, but I think maybe it ought to become your favorite track now.
Yeah, it was pretty good yesterday. I mean, it didn't pay a huge amount, but it paid enough to make us a profit.
Yeah, well, the thing too is our tickets were littered with pick threes and pick fours, right?
They were.
Uh huh.
They were. Yeah.
Keeneland week opens. Yes, indeed, we're going to be on Keeneland here as well today. That's going to be our main focus. We have the Keeneland $3 pick three. We did the Keeneland pick four. We're going to talk a little bit about Kentucky horse racing in our news. So today is going to be Kentucky centric on Horse Racing Radar TV, Horse Racing Today with Terry and Rich. So let's get cracking right away. You know, the Breeders' Cup is coming up pretty soon, Terry, right? That's the big event that kind of closes out the year, heads us into Thanksgiving and then into the Christmas and all the holiday season shopping and celebrations and then the New Year's. And then we come back finally to the Pegasus Cup. But before then, it's the Breeders' Cup, and there's a big name that's going to be missing, Terry.
Yeah, there is. That's Maxwell or Field. I mean.
Maxfield. Yes, our Players Edge podcast guest, Jave Privman, mentioned that yesterday on DRF that the Maxfield is not going to make it. If you read the story, it's because his owner said that the horse just isn't fast enough.
Yeah, yeah, and I think he's making a good decision if that's how he feels about it, because he's going to go for the handicap or stakes that pays has a purse of 750,000, which isn't too bad.
No, to the Clark Stakes, right? I think if I
Yeah,
remember
Clark
correctly. Yeah.
stakes. Yeah, it's so he just discussed it with the owner, and they thought this was the best option for the horse. He's unbeaten at this track, so that should work out pretty well for him.
Yeah, I think it's if you feel like you can't make it, then that's probably the right way to go for sure.
Yeah.
Unquestionably. Okay, so I'm being told that he can't hear me, so I apologize, folks.
Yeah,
I get so many things going on in the course of my day that I forget to move the simple things, right?
Yeah, but you're good now. I mean, we could hear you, but it was like you were in a hallway down the street.
Yeah, well, I'm just the old guy talking crap, Terry. So I'm the old guy talking crap in the hallway now.
Yeah.
Yes, I expect he will run well in the Clark too. I do think that'll be the case. And if you really, in some respects, I respect that they're not going to put him in a race where maybe he's going to have to try harder than he can and maybe risk getting injured. Put him at a level that's a little bit more competitive and one that he can win. Yeah. And I think it's a lot of owners, I think, they have grandiose ideas that their horse is probably a little bit better than it is. We all probably think that way. I think about like fantasy football and so forth. Everybody always overvalues what they have relative to what everybody else has. And, to be able to admit, my horse is just not good enough. I think that that takes a lot of character and a lot of class to do that.
Certainly does. I was glad to see that because in my opinion, he wasn't going to match well with the horses in the classic. So.
Well, that's the one thing that might have worked to their advantage, though, is he got a lot of speed in that race, and Maxfield's not a speed horse. So
no, that's true.
But he'll have another chance to run in other places, Terry, in Kentucky, if he doesn't want to run at well, I know the Breeders' Cup is out of Delmar, but Kentucky, man, they love horse racing there, Terry.
They certainly do. I'll tell you that right now. So.
And they're about to have a couple more tracks. I was reading that they're going to open up something in the area of Kentucky. In the Corbin-Williamsburg area. I'm not quite sure where that is, but I'm sure folks who live there know where it is. But they're going to open up a track, one called the Cumberland Mint. And I guess that's going to have horse racing and a casino. That's what it sounds like to me in the article, but the article is not 100% clear.
Yeah, I took it to mean was just going to be the casino with these, history machines. I don't think they're going to have a track there.
So at the Cumberland Mint, all right. But the other one said they were going to have standard bred racing for sure.
Yes, they are going to have that at the other one. Yes.
And that one's going to be called the Cumberland Run, which is going to be a harness horse racing facility. So one of them, okay, so now that does make a little bit, because the Cumberland Mint was a little bit confusing to me. I wasn't sure if they were going to have live thoroughbred racing there, like when perhaps Churchland or Keeneland or Kentucky Downs weren't running. But yeah, so if it's just going to be like a race and sports bar, that's with the historical racing, and then the standard bred racing, because they want to keep the harness racing in Kentucky. No matter what they do, it's a pretty good sign. Like, a lot of folks talk about the business is dying, but yet we keep seeing signs of folks who are willing to invest in the business.
Absolutely, yeah. And like you, I had to read the article a couple of times just to get it straight in my mind. But it looks like it's going to be a pretty good place. They're going to have a hotel, and they're going to have, that 70, I think it's Highway 75. That's one of their main freeways that go through there. And they'll have a lot of traffic and probably a lot of people out of state that stop there and stay the night and play. So I think it's going to create like 300 jobs there.
They're supposed to be decent paying jobs too. So
yeah,
it sounds like something I'd like to check out. Good food, good fun, sports, horse racing. Sounds like a good time. I one time drove through Kentucky coming home from a son's soccer tournament in South Carolina. I think we were on I-75. I don't remember. I'm too old to remember these things, Terry. So I'm just an old guy talking crap about horses. But we were coming through there, and there was just a ton of traffic. And we're like, what in the hell? It was like a middle of a Sunday in Kentucky, in rural Kentucky. And we were like in a traffic jam in Chicago. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Apparently some guy somehow, some way got a rattlesnake caught in his car.
Oh, wow.
And he was driving, and the rattlesnake bit him on the leg while he was driving.
Oh, geez.
So they stopped. He couldn't apparently get out of the car, and they had to bring the medics and the helicopter. So the traffic was stopped for 12 miles because some dude got bit by a rattlesnake that somehow got in his car in Kentucky.
Wow. That's something else.
So when you're driving in Kentucky, before you get in your car, make sure you look under your seats. The moral of the story is you don't want to find a rattlesnake in your car in Kentucky. You're going to back up traffic. Absolutely. So, how did your best bet do yesterday, Terry?
Hey, actually, my best bet did really, really well. It actually, I hit the exacta, so that's pretty good.
It's always good.
Oh yeah, I had my first pick ran second, paid $380 and $210 to show, and then my second place horse, Hellman's Run, won the race, paid $12.60, $4 and $220, and my third pick, number 4. Moments to Savor ran third, paid $210, and the exacta paid $53.50, and the trifecta paid $24.87. So it turned out pretty good.
Was a good day for us. We got the pick 4 at Finger Lakes. You got your best bet of the day to come home for exacta, trifecta, and winner. Yep. I think I had the parlay, a 3P parlay for the third time. So I think if we get it to 5 times, I'm going to put it to rest. So what do you like today, Terry? What's your best bet for Hump Day?
Okay. I like Keeneland, the race 4. I did this so that you can use it in the pick 5 if you want to do that.
I just did right there.
Yeah. Number 7, Cheeky Chaps finished third versus Tupper in his last race and drops in class today. And the trainer wins 25% of the time when bringing a beaten favorite back to the race. The number 3, Super Design, won his maiden race at Kentucky Downs. And to me, Kentucky Downs is a tough track. So that's pretty good. And he has trainer Wesley Ward, who has the following record in the last 14 days. He's won 7 races out of 17 mounts, 3 seconds, 3 thirds. And then number 4, Rockstar Row, drops in class today and has jockey Tyler Graffione in the irons. And in his last 7 days, his record has been 12 wins out of 32 starts, 2 seconds and a third. So I think it's a pretty good race to start the pick 5 with.
Yeah, it's a pretty good day for racing, it looks like, at Keeneland. We're going to be, like I said, very Keeneland-centric today, Terry. But we're going to go right to the pick 3 then, I guess, for the Keeneland. Since you started with race 4, we might as well go ahead and go right to the Keeneland pick 3, because that starts in race 4 too. So here's Terry's $3 pick 3 and my $3 pick 3. Terry in race number 4 likes the 3, the 4, the 7, and the 12. He went 4 deep. I went 2 deep with the 3 and the 7. We also went with the in race 4. Terry singled the 6. The 4. I don't know how I get to 6. I don't know. And then on race, maybe because it's race six, I went with the 3 and the 4. The 4 horse is Dogminga or something like that? Dominga?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks to me like a good, solid horse. I didn't, before the Daddy is a Legend scratched, I didn't even have the 4 on my ticket.
Yeah.
I just feel like the way the race set up work better for Daddy as a Legend than it would work for Dominga. But now Dominga is the strongest horse in the field. On the way home, Terry likes the 1, the 4, and the 7. We both agree on the 1 and 4. I like the 6 instead of the 7, and that gives you a little bit of preview what's coming up for our pick 4. Both of our pick 3s for $3, that new bet at Keeneland for the last 3 turf races of the day. That's why it's race 4, 6, and 8. They both account for $36. I hope I did the math right there.
Yeah, maybe. Somebody says, how's it the $3 pick 3 if the ticket costs $36? Well,
it's the $3 is the, how you have a 50 cent or $1 or $2 or $5 like minimum bet. So it's a minimum $3 bet. You can't bet like a $1 pick 3. Right. So it's $3 is the denominator that you start with. So we have 12 horses, 12 possible combinations in both of our tickets. So 12 times 3 is $36.
Yep.
It's not that we're only spending $3, Tom. We would never do that.
and let me tell you, in that second league, the 6th race, as you've seen when I was sending you my information, I like the 3 too. I had a hard time between deciding on the 3 or the 4, and I finally decided the 4.
Well, that was a good choice, Terry. I think. I mean, to me, it's one of those 2 horses for sure. JW says he likes this new bet. Yeah, it makes. I mean, the payouts so far have been nice. They've been
really nice.
Well, like I think 300, 600. I think I saw one for over 1,000. So far, so good.
Yeah, I love the bet. So I played it a couple of times. I didn't win it, but I got close.
Well, the idea was a lot of the higher price players were upset. It's something we've talked about a couple of times on the show about how to make horse racing better. And we've had some professional bettors both here on our show and on the sports podcast. And they mentioned that they don't like the takeout in horse racing. So that's one of the reasons that some of the big hitters in sports betting don't like horse racing. So the idea here was to only have a 15% takeout too. So it's a small takeout. It's a big minimum. And because of that, if you hit, you tend to have a bigger payout. So they're hoping to attract higher priced bettors with this particular bet. That's why Terry loves it.
Yep. I just like the payoffs. So
you're the heavy hitter in the crew here. All right, so let's get started, Terry, with our pick 4 for the day. As I mentioned, that one today is at Keeneland. It starts in race number 5. So we've already done a little bit of work if you want to do the pick 5. With the pick $3 pick 3 in race 4, and Terry's best bet in race 4. Race 5 at Keeneland is 6.5 furlongs on the main track. It's a maiden race, $84,000, maiden special weight. And when looking at it, they haven't run a whole lot in there, but speed tends to be the way at 6.5 furlongs, Terry. We got a whole lot of first-time starters, some horses with experience. I think this race is one that's pretty wide open. And I also think that the last leg, race 8, is pretty wide open. So to me, in terms of constructing this ticket, I think we should do kind of a barbell approach. We should start in race 5, then go to race 8, and then fill in the middle. What do you say?
Oh, okay. That sounds fine to me.
Because we're going to be spending our money, I feel like, in races 5 and 8, and in 6 and 7, we can probably narrow it down to just a few horses.
Yeah.
So who's your first choice in the maiden special weight, 6.5 furlongs, race 5?
Okay, number 2, Fan the Fire. Did not like the turf last time and is returning to dirt. Drops in class today, and the trainer Maker wins 21% of the time when going from a route to a sprint.
Mm-hmm.
And his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. And jockey Tyler Claffione in the last 7 days has been doing really well. 32 mounts, 12 wins, 2 seconds in the third.
I agree. The 2-horse has had 3 chances to win, though. And so far at the very end of the races has tailed off. So cutting back from a mile on the turf to 6.5 furlongs on the dirt hopefully works out for Tyler Gaffalione and Michael Maker. I know you mentioned that he likes to go sprint route, and that works to his sprint on that scenario. Works to his favor pretty well. I like to break things into buckets, Terry. Honestly, I couldn't break things too much into buckets this race. So I kind of was paying attention to how they've been working out, particularly at Keeneland. And for me, I like the 2 as well, just because he's probably the quality horse. But I feel like the first time starters, I'm looking at number 4, Terry. That is Arrow Strike. Just
Okay.
has, as far as the first time starters are concerned, it just has the most consistent good workouts. They're at Keeneland. So I know the horse has been over the course. I know that he's put some good workouts in. $127,000 horse. So the BBN Racing paid up for this horse. It's not cheap. I know that the Bodemeister, those Bodie horses are fast usually, and the workouts have been solid. So Rafael Bajarano is kind of having a resurgent year. I figured that horse has as good a chance as any.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It doesn't sound like you had it on your ticket.
No, I did not. But, I feel like this is a wide open race. So
that's why I figured we should start in the first and the last legs. Is this one that you want to put to the side? You okay with me putting it in there? How do you feel?
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with you putting it in there.
All right. Who else do you like?
I like number 9, Mumzaza. Yazaz.
Let's see. Let me take a crack at it. Number 9, Mum Yaz.
Mum Yaz.
Yeah, Mama Yaz. We'll go like that.
Well, he has the highest last race speed rating and drops in class today. And he has as sharp workout at Churchill Downs. 5 furlongs, 1 minute 4 breezing, best out of 9. And, his race, last race, he led for half that race and showed a lot of early speed. And I really liked that. So.
Yeah, so something real quick that I like to see when I'm looking at, particularly at horses that are youngsters, but even if they're not youngsters, it's nice to see this step up. So you've seen a debut here, August 28th at Ellis Park in our Brisnet sheets. That's who I use. So if you are looking for which sheets to use, Brisnet is a good one to look at. The minimum are too low for most wagers. Yeah, I agree with you on that one, JW. He's talking about the $3 bets. When I'm looking at horses like the horses in their early or even in their cycles and so forth. You see here, the horse broke from the rail last time. It got off to a bad start, and there was 5th pretty much. So the next race, you see the improvement from 5th to 1st, from 5th to 1st, from 5th to 2nd, 5th to 4th. So there's a lot of improvement from race to race there. I'm also looking at these internal numbers here. I'm seeing a lot of improvement here too. So this horse definitely, besides the highest last race speed figure and dropping in class, showed enough improvement in the last race that if it stays on that trend, can get to the front, which we talked about being a key to winning. And then to back up the improvement in the racing here, you look down at the workouts, and as you mentioned, Terry, there you got the bullet workout. So that's an indication that not only has a horse got better from race 1 to race 2, but his workouts suggest that we could see some further improvement in race 3, which could be enough to carry that one all the way across the line this time.
Yep.
So I agree with you on that horse. Who else do you like, Terry?
Number 1, Twirling Blues. He was well bet his debut, but he had a really slow start, finished even in the race. He has a sharp workout on October 15th at Churchill Downs, 1 minute 2, 5 furlongs, and he was 7th best out of 44.
Okay, so you like the 1. So yep. I like another first-time starter in here too, Terry. So we'll put the 1 to the side with Twirling Blues.
Okay.
The horse was bet well last time out, as you mentioned. It got off to a slow start. Workouts, since have been pretty fast at Churchill Downs for sure. Got some good workouts there. So Julien Laperoux, good jockey as well. But again, looking at the first-time starters, number 7.
Yeah, Mask Patrol. I was going to say that's probably the one you like because I like it too.
Yes, $310,000. To me, that's one of the things that I like to look at too, is how much did they pay for the horse. It doesn't really probably mean a whole lot, other than that the higher they paid for it usually is a good indication that the breeding is better than most. So you have Hard Spun, Strike Accord, $300,000 horse. And again, looking at the workouts, working out at Keeneland, and one more, I'll bring this up one more time. Sorry to be like that, but when you look at one of the things I love to see with first-time starters, it doesn't always work out, but I love to see it, is what I call the bullet and go. You have the workout right before the race, the black dot right there indicating it's a bullet, and then it's going to go to the track and race. So that indicates to me that this horse is sharp. They paid a good amount for it. You got a very good jockey in Florent Garou, Brendan Walsh, good trainer. Solid horse. I feel like this is one that can be from the bucket of first-time starters that surprises or goes off at a decent price and goes wire to wire.
Yeah, I agree with you. So let's just put that one in.
All right, we'll put that one in there.
Hey,
Fantastic.
because it has good workouts all throughout.
Mhm. So I think we got the two fastest first time starters in there, and that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Okay.
You're barely. Sometimes you see, but more often than not, first time starters that break well and they tend to run well. First time starters that don't break well, they usually don't get into the mix unless it's a really super high quality horse. Outside of the one horse, Terry, any other that you were thinking about here?
Well, I took a little quick look at number 10, Pine Valley. He didn't take very good to the muddy track. He showed a little speed to start with and then quit at the end, but I was just kind of lukewarm about it.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I like what we have. I think if we come back, maybe we can, if we have room. To me, do you prefer the 1 over the 10? I do.
I do. Yeah, I do.
Okay. So let's go ahead and forward to race number 8, Terry, because again, I think you have a 1.16 miles on the turf, made in $84,000. So, and the turf tends to favor closers at Keeneland, especially on routes. So we're going to look for horses that probably have a good late kick here, Terry, as the ones that are going to bring it home. And it seems to me that maybe there's a little bit of advantage to being outside than being inside. But these are 2-year-olds, so I don't really think all that matters that much because you just don't know what you're going to get from them.
Right.
So let's go ahead and fill out this part, and then we'll go back in and fill out the middle. So who do you like as your top horse in race number 8?
Number 4, Gimme Mo Baby. And I like it because
it's always a good idea.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Well, it finished third against Tougher in its last start. Now drops in class, and its best turf speed is close to the average winning speed. But it also has, the last workout was decent. Wasn't like fantastic, but it was decent. So I like this horse.
I like it as well, Terry, because of all the horses that debuted. It had the top debut. I think it had the top debut speed figure for any of the horses in the field. That's another thing that I like to look at when you got a bunch of horses that haven't run, which one they haven't run a lot, which one busted out and did the best from the get-go. It kind of gives me an indication of what its potential is, especially if that number hasn't risen since the debut, and it's kind of tailed off a little bit. So you're kind of looking for that move to back class, if you will. So I also like the 4 horse. I also like the 1 horse, Already Charming. Yeah, but it's dropping in class, was the favorite for Brad Cox last time. It's a Godolphin horse. I mean, they're top barn, as Tom mentioned. They really are, having a fantastic 2021. I know that last race, the horse kind of was fractious. And Florent just stopped riding the horse after the first call. I think this time around, clean break, if they can get it to behave going into the gate, which could be difficult for 2-year-olds, could get to the front and lead from beginning to end.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's my second pick. And, the trainer, Brad Cox, wins 34% of the time when he brings a beaten favorite back to race. And as we were talking, the jockey has, in the last 14 days, been doing really well. He's had 11 out of 19 starts in the money, 5 of those wins.
Yeah, he's definitely Florent's becoming one of the top jockeys, no question about it. He's probably been for a while. So who else do you like, Terry?
Number 7, Justia, drops in class today. Dam has 2 winners from 2 starters. No turf winners though. And the trainer wins 22% of the time when he goes from sprint to route. And I think the horse is going to improve with the longer distance.
And one of the things I like too, Terry, in this horse is when you look at its debut and you look at the mid-pace number relative to the late-pace number, a lot of times with first-time starters, you'll see there's a big bulge in the middle, like the horse makes a big move and then really lags at the end. And you'll see a big decline in its late-pace figure. In this particular case, you see that the early pace number, there was a little bit of a decline to the mid-pace number. And then the late pace number stayed the same. So the horse kept on and ran at pretty much the same level. A lot of times that's a sign of a horse that will improve in race number 2. So you don't see a big variance between the mid-pace level, the mid-pace number, and the late pace number. They're exactly the same here at 76. So I do like the 7 horse. I do think this is a horse that will step forward in its second race in its career. Now, for me, I had 2 other horses in here, Terry, that I was looking at. I was looking at the 6 horse and I was looking at the 9 horse. I ranked the 6 horse a little bit ahead of the 9 horse. Neither one has really run all that well. The 6 horse is one that has, if you look back to its debut race, it debuted with the strongest late pace run. So I feel like if the horse can be a little bit closer to the front, so if Rafael Bejarano can get the horse closer to the lead, it absolutely has the legs to get there. It also ran for a tag of 100. Well, that wasn't in a tag, but it also ran for a purse of 135,000 last time. So they moved it up, and it did improve in the first half of the race. So if it can put the first half of its last race with the back half of its debut together, play a full game, as they say in football. Stanley's Market at 12-1, I think, is a horse that can offer value and find its way to the winner's circle.
Okay, you can. Yeah, I'll go with that. But there is one horse that I'd like to put to the side in case there's a scratch, and that's number 2. You So Money Baby. The trainer wins 50% of the time when he takes maiden claimer to maiden and races. This horse at Kentucky Downs ran a pretty decent race. It was kind of average, but it was pretty decent last time out. It has pretty good workouts. In the last 2 workouts have been really, really good. And I just for some reason I feel like this horse has a really good chance.
Yeah, well, and sometimes that intuition plays pretty well, right?
Yes.
I know that's worked for me. So I put the 9 in there. It may work out that we can actually stick a couple of those horses in there, Terry, because I feel like now that we're going to fill in the middle, that there's not going to be a whole lot that we're going to be filling in here, because I don't know how necessary that is. Right. Race number 6 is a mile and a 16th on the turf. There was a big, heavy morning line favorite in the number 1. Daddy is a Legend. Daddy is on the sidelines. So Dominga, which is the 4 horse, now becomes the prohibitive favorite. It was 8-5 morning line. Brad Cox, Frank Guru, they hit at about 22%. They've been kind of, earlier in the year, they were killing it with a positive ROI. They've been kind of tailing off since. So I don't know how strong that combination has been. That horse is the top horse in terms of the money line. I mean, the morning line. But to me, I know you like Smoking Joe Talamo.
Yes, I do.
But this horse here, he's run twice at Keeneland, number 3 horse past the plate. He's got a win there. He's got a third there, and he's achieved the top score at Keeneland. And I look back, this is his second start off a layoff. I look back at his previous second starts off a layoff, and every single time, Terry, the horse has stepped forward in race 2 in the 2-race cycle. So I think that this horse is dropping in class and is going to improve performance. I think the relief in class and stepping forward could be enough to pull off the upset.
Well, yeah, I like it too. It's my second choice. So, and like you said, I like Smoking Joe. So I have no problems. Like this horse likes Keeneland and the distance and drops in class today. So I'd like to put both of those horses in there.
Yeah, I think Dominga's got to be in there. So the question is, do we need to put more in here? And if we were going to put more in here, who is the more, if there is a more?
Well, if we were, I would put the 5, our baby B. Ruth. Finished third versus tougher in the last race, missing only by a neck. Has the highest last speed rating. He's tied with another one. Drops in class today. Has a hot trainer, Eddie Keneally, and jockey Adam Bishiza, who in the last 14 days has had 2 wins out of 7 mounts. So, but like I said, that's just a horse I'd like to put on the side.
Yeah, for me, the horse that I would want to put on the side there is Princess Causeway, 3rd time off a layoff. When you look at the horse since its last race, it's worked out a couple of times and had a nice bullet in there. Did have a try across Keeneland in its debut. Kind of pulled up late, but to me, that would be the horse that I would think about putting in there. So
yeah, it has a really good early speed too. So
yes, indeed. All right, so we got those 2, and now let's go to race number 7. Terry, sorry, wrong screen paging down on there, folks. I got to make sure that mouse is on the bottom in my laptop and not up on my monitor. Yeah. Number 7 is race number 7, 7 furlongs, optional claiming, 62,500, non-winners of 2, and then you have a purse of $88,000. So a very good race here, Terry.
It is.
This is a race where you've had 50% of the 8 horses that have won this race. At the current meet, the 8 races, 50% have gone wire to wire. So speed kills, Terry, and it looks to me like outside speed might be a little bit better than inside speed. Who do you like?
Okay. Well, I like number 2, the Inside Speed Movie Moxie. She
Mhm.
has a high percentage jockey, Tyler Gaffleone, and the highest last speed rating. Trainer wins 19% of the time when bringing a horse back after a 46 to 90-day layoff. And the jockey in the last 7 days has won 12 out of 32 races.
Yeah, when I was going through like to do the hot dog pick 4, I really was trying to find something else that I wanted to try to beat the 2-horse with, Terry.
Yeah.
And I was having a very difficult time. I was looking outside, trying to figure out which horse I wanted to go with. And to me, it looks to me like, so the early pace belongs to the 4, the 1, and the 7. So, and then the 3. So the 2 is not going to be a part of that early pace. So if outside pace works, the 7 horse would be outside pace, but hasn't run at Keeneland's, coming from Churchill Downs. Workouts lately haven't been all that strong. So I said, well, maybe I don't like that one. So then I went to the 4 horse to look because, again, inside speed, farther from the rail, if you will, did show speed on turf, right? It's only ever run on turf. The horse has not come on grass, on dirt as of yet. So 8 races on the turf. The first time to dirt. It's a 18% winner for trainer Anthony Granite, so that'll work for me. But what I liked about the 4 horse is when I looked at its workouts on dirt, you see that October 1st at Indiana Grand, the 3rd fastest of 35, 4 furlongs in 48. That's pretty good. Arlington Park, that's not AstroTurf. That's a synthetic course, so that's really tough to say. But I do like the nice workout at Indiana Grand, so I'm going to take a flyer on the 4 horse, Terry, here as my second choice.
Okay.
Speed that did work well, and you just don't know what Big Band Louisiane is going to bring to the dirt for the first time.
Yeah, I like that. It's a good pick. So,
any other horse that you like in here?
Well, you can put one to the side in case there's a scratch. Is number 6, Powder River. Trainer wins 26% of the time when he goes from a route to a sprint.
Mm-hmm.
And the trainer, Norm Cassie, in the last 14 days has had 2 winners out of 6 starts. So,
all right. So right now we haven't really come anywhere near our budget, right? So we're at what, 16.32. So we're at $32, Terry.
Okay.
So the question is, do you want to go deeper in the first? Okay. So let's just go at race 6. Do you think out of race 6 that either the 5 or the 2 can beat the 3 or the 4?
No, I don't really think that.
All right, so we don't need to add a horse there. To me, the only one I think that would have a crack is the 2. In race number 7, do you feel like the 6 can beat the 2 or the 4? Well, it can beat the 4, I think, for sure. But
yeah, I do. Yeah,
so
I like the 6.
All right, so we'll put the 6 over there then.
Okay.
So now that brings us to $48. Next, let's go back. Do you feel like in race number 1, so you feel like in the first race, the 1 is better than the 10, right? So we'll put the 1 in there.
Okay.
So that gets us to, that's 5, 10, 30. 30 times 4 is 120. That's $60, Terry.
Let's put the 2 in because you like that too.
In
the
race
2
number
in the
6?
6th race. Yeah.
All right.
That'll give us a little more coverage there.
So I think we can put, so what does that give us now? It's 5, 15, 45. 45 times 4 is $90, Terry. That's the maximum we can do. All right, cool. So there's our ticket for today at the Keeneland Pick 4, race number 5, which is wide open, folks. 1, 2, 4, 7, 9. Race 6, 2, 3, 4. Race 7, 2, 4, 6, all the even numbers. And then in race 8, the 1, the 4, the 6, and the 7. And if there are any scratches or you have deeper pockets than Terry and I, you have the 10, the 5, the 2, and the 9 as some alternatives in there.
That's right.
One quick thing, as we always mention with these, we don't always do. We just want to handicap as many races as we can, talk about as many angles and things, and see the things that we see. That's why we do pick 4 tickets. If you don't do pick 4 tickets, don't feel ever like you're pressured to do one or anything like that. This is a show for entertainment purposes only. But there are going to be some probably exactas and trifectas and stuff like that in these tickets as well. So I would suggest maybe using these to confirm your ideas, to maybe look at something different, maybe a new handicapping angle that you learned today. And also, if you like what you see, Terry, what should they do?
They should actually, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at Racing Radar, and then like us on Facebook at Racing Radar.
Absolutely, for sure. So Terry and I, we always construct our own tickets on our own. So here are our pick 4 tickets that we call hot dogs. So if Nathan's Hot Dog wants to go out there and sponsor us, we certainly would appreciate that. We'll be the Nathan's Hot Dog pick 4. Terry goes deep in the first leg, like we mentioned, as putting our tickets together. It is I think the more difficult leg. 1, 2, 7, 9, 10. Terry singled Dominga, and on the race 7, he went with the 2 and the 6. That's why he insisted on the 6 being in our pick 4, fly 4. Race number 8, Terry went with 1, 4, and 7. Race number 5, I go 2, 4, 7, 9. I'll give the 3 horse a crack against Dominga in race 4 because I feel like the 3 horse has a chance to get to the lead, and then everyone's going to have to run it down. Number 7, I like the 2. I singled it. As I mentioned, going through the works, the past performances at Brisnet, I couldn't find anything else I liked. Race number 8, the 1, the 4, the 6, and the 7. Terry's only spending $15 today. He must feel bad about that. And I'm at $16. That's my ticket for the day.
Well, I needed an extra $5 to buy a hot dog.
Yes, you did. Or Nathan's can just supply for us if they like.
That'd be nice. We'd eat them online here while we're talking.
Yes. I don't like relish. I was going to say with relish flying and all that sort of stuff.
I don't eat relish either.
Yeah, I don't like it. All right. So yesterday, Terry, our free track of the day was Penn National, right?
Uh-huh.
So the other day, Grants Pass, we mentioned we had a real nice pick 4 over there. So if you head on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet or to our premium section at Horse Racing Radar, you'll find our picks. Yesterday's Penn National tip sheets, Terry paid out a possible total using our top 4 picks, $3,847.30. That included the late pick 3, pick 4, and pick 5 that paid $907.20. So 2 days in a row, we looked like we gave a good free track away.
Yeah.
Today's free track, if you go to the premium pick section on Horse Racing Radar or our sister station, Guaranteed Tip Sheet, you'll see it's Indiana Grand. It's a good track. A lot of people like Indiana Grand. And then you'll see when you click on that red download button, this is what you're going to get. So I feel like I forgot the P3, right, Terry?
You did. We have to do the P3.
All right, here we go. 3P parlay. I hit mine yesterday. Terry's going to go late night with Mountaineer Park. We've got tracks covered from coast to coast, morning to night, Terry, all sorts of things today.
That's right.
So in Mountaineer Race 3, tell us what you got here, Terry.
All right. I like in the third race, number 1, QAnon.
QAnon, you're a QAnon? You're a QAnon conspiracist, Terry?
And then the 6th race, I have number 3, Skyrider. And in the 8th race, I like number 1, Charisma Taka. I wish they'd name things a little easier to pronounce.
Charismatica.
Yeah, that's it. Charismatica.
Well, mine are pretty easy to pronounce. Race number 4 at Delaware Park is Tonka Flower. So I guess that's like a big truck, heavy metal flower.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Race number 7 is Palatial Times. I guess that's how the Taliban feels right about now in Afghanistan. And Delaware Park race number 8, Flat Out Flying, which I hope that horse will be doing at the end so that I can win the P3 parlay for 2 consecutive days and find Bigfoot once again.
That'd be great because we're both 3 out of 3, and we both have 3. And yours yesterday paid $41.16, so you doubled your money. Not
too bad. And those horses are good, I think, because then I've noticed, Terry, that a lot of times they may not finish first or second, but a lot of times they finish in the money.
Yeah.
So when they're not first or second, a lot of those horses finished third. And so they're good horses to maybe wheel or key and exactas or trifectas if you like to do those sorts of bets.
Absolutely.
Or maybe even, single sometimes in a vertical bet. Any other information or thoughts before we get up and out of here, Terry?
No, just that I hope everybody has a really good day the rest of the day and has no problems. Stay safe. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And I think we're going to do Belmont tomorrow, right?
Yes, we're going to do Belmont Park tomorrow. And we're going to have Victor Carrazzo tomorrow night as our guest on the Players Edge podcast. I know Terry won't be with us, but Victor will. And we're going to be discussing the Maryland Millions weekend at Laurel Park. They have just like $100,000 races or something that day. So it's just a big pile of money that extends out all day long. So that should be a good conversation. We'll get some insights because for me, I don't know about you, Terry, but for me, Laurel's always been a challenging track to handicap, and I don't know why.
Yeah, it is for me. I'm either hot or I'm cold there. I'm never in the middle. So
I've never been hot there, so for me, middle would be improvement.
Yeah.
So whatever I talk about tomorrow night on the Players Edge podcast at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Horse Racing Radar TV, or as Terry mentioned, if you subscribe on YouTube, give us the thumbs up. It helps us in their algorithms. Or you like us on Facebook when we go live, you'll be notified. Whatever I talk about at Maryland Millions, you probably want to fade those horses because I've never really had a lot of success there. Okay. All right, Terry, that wraps up today. As always, folks, we hope that your day is a fantastic day, that you have a wonderful Wednesday, and that all your picks end up in the
winner's circle.
Absolutely. We'll see you in 23-3.
Okay.